ahead on World Sport. Lleyton Hewitt is back on court for the first time since that shock Wimbledon exit.
Coming up, Lleyton Hewitt returns after the record-setting embarrassment at Wimbledon, but would his confidence be intact? Welcome back to tennis from Mercedes-Benz Cup in Los Angeles, where top seed Lleyton Hewitt of Australia took the court against American qualifier Cecil Mamet for his first match since becoming the first defending champion in the Open era to lose in the first round of Wimbledon. Croatian qualifier Ivo Karlovic inflicted that embarrassment, but early on Hewitt suggested he'd fully recovered. He was all over the American in the first set. Mamet working hard, but not hard enough. He'd be bageled 6-love. He played a lot better in the second set, though, and indeed would lead the Australian. But Hewitt, who has his problems off court as well as on it, clashing with the authorities of late, would hang tough and come back firing, as you'd expect from the feistiest player on the tour. Lleyton going on to victory, 6-love, 7-5.
Their successful tour of the US. And also ahead on World Sport, Lleyton Hewitt prepares to win back his US Open tennis title. Welcome back to World Sport. The final tennis major of the year is less than a month away, and most of the world's top players are warming up for the US Open. Many of them are in California, and Mark McKay can tell us how they're getting on. Mark.
Hi, Don. The headliner at the men's Mercedes-Benz Cup took center stage on Wednesday. His name, Lleyton Hewitt. As the year's final Grand Slam draws near, the Aussie is eager to raise the level of his game after last month's shocking first-round setback at Wimbledon. The top seed stared down at American as he searched for a place in the quarters. Wildcard entry Michael Joyce gave Hewitt all he could handle in the early going. Look at Joyce hit the cross-court at a tough angle, but Hewitt is getting to it, and Joyce basically is left to chuckle away. Hewitt won the first set 6-3 and rolled in the second. Joyce running out of steam in a hurry.
This is too much.
Hewitt now up 5-love in the second. Joyce comes to the nets. That's where Hewitt burns him with the perfect lob cross-court into the corner. The Aussie confidently strides into the Mercedes-Benz Cup quarters.
Tonight I just felt like I had a great rhythm as soon as I got out there, and it puts a lot more pressure on my opponents when I go out there, and I'm winning my service games, a lot easier. I can put a bit more and go, take my chance a little bit more in their service games, and my returner serve is one of my strengths normally, so I can go out there and try and put pressure on them and get that early break up in each set.
First round exit at Wimbledon, Lleyton Hewitt's confidence appears to be returning. Played some great tennis in his second round match against Mike Joyce of the US. Hewitt winning in straight sets, only dropping 3 games in the process. His second straight win over an American after his win over Cecil Mamet on Tuesday. And Hewitt says that he's now right back on top of his game.
Tonight I just felt like I had a great rhythm as soon as I got out there, and it puts a lot more pressure on my opponents when I go out there, and I'm winning my service games a lot easier. I can put a bit more and go, take my chance a little bit more in their service games, and my returner serve is one of my strengths normally, so I can go out there and try and put pressure on them and get that early break.
Kim Clijsters is easing through the draw in Carlsbad, California. Lleyton Hewitt struggled to get past his quarter-final opponents in Los Angeles. It's Hewitt's first tournament since losing in the opening round of Wimbledon, and he knows he has to do some work if he's to qualify for the 8-man season finale in November. Hewitt, who's currently in 15th place in the ATP Champions race, faced big serving Dane Kenneth Carlsen on Friday for a place in the semis, and the Aussie missed out on first 7 break-point chances as the world number 76 took a first-set tiebreak. But Hewitt rallied in the second to force a decider. By then, the former #1 was in stunning form, and Carlsen, who missed almost 2 years in 2000 due to shoulder surgery, just couldn't keep up. Hewitt through to the semis then with a hard-fought 3-set win. Welcome back to the show. Former world #1 tennis player Lleyton Hewitt has rebounded well after going out at the first round of the recent Wimbledon Championship. The Aussie is certainly not having his best year, but he's getting back to form at the Mercedes-Benz Cup in Los Angeles. Hewitt, who's currently in 15th place in the ATP Champions race, took on Germany's Nicholas Kiefer for a place in the final. The German suffering a little because of a blistered foot, but Hewitt wasn't sympathetic, clinching the first 6 games to 2. Kiefer, who was ranked as high as 4th in the world 3 years ago, made sure the second was a little tighter, but Hewitt came through on all the big points. And under a blazing sun, the Aussie's remarkable fitness paid off closing out the match in 1 hour and 21 minutes to reach his third final of the year.
Welcome back. Lleyton Hewitt can have no complaints about the outcome of the Mercedes-Benz Cup in Los Angeles after he blew 3 match points against Wayne Ferreira. The South African hadn't won a tournament for 3 years, but he fought tooth and nail in this one. Hewitt near court, setting up the third of his match points with a sliced backhand that just clipped the line. But as he had done twice before, Ferreira wouldn't back down. These were practice partners last week, the two of them, but no amount of practice would have helped Hewitt deal with a ferocious backhand that kept Ferreira in the match. And then Hewitt really blew it. Serving at 5-all, the young Aussie double faulted 3 times to give Ferreira the game and a 6-5 lead in the decisive set. And Ferreira, who's 9 years Hewitt's senior, completed a great comeback with a blistering ace. After 2.5 hours in the searing California heat, it finished 6-3, 4-6, 7-5.
I feel great. It was a great match. I played really well. Had a lot of chances in the second. Had a lot of chances in the third. Got a little bit lucky at love 40. Played some good points. Yeah, it was a close match. Maybe could have won a little bit easier, but still, the result is there, and that's all that counts.